Published 11:37 EDT, the 1st of September 2017. Updated 11:47 EDT, the 1st of September 2017. Alexander Wheeler, pictured, feared he would come under financial pressure after being sacked for bad timekeeping. A young insurance administrator hanged himself after he could not find a way to tell his parents he had lost his job, an inquest heard. Alexander Wheeler, whose body was found by a neighbor, feared he would come under financial pressure after being sacked for bad timekeeping. A coroner heard that the 21-year-old could not admit his problems to his family and ignored his mother's attempts to talk to him before his death. He lived away from his parents after moving from the family home to study music technology at South Thames College in London. After graduating, he lived in Hampton Court Parade, East Molesey, Surrey, and took a job as an insurance administrator but was fired for timekeeping issues. His mother, Suzanne Middleton Elliott, of Ruins Barn Road, Sittingbourne, Kent, told the coroner in Woking, Surrey, that Alexander's death was entirely preventable and added that she wished he had reached out after losing his job. I wasn't aware he was depressed. Not overtly, I wouldn't have labeled him as depressed. Since doing some investigating, we knew he didn't have a job and no money was coming in. I feel his situation was entirely preventable, but in the circumstances he didn't give us the opportunity to help him. I don't think he would have recognized he was depressed either. He wouldn't have recognized it as depression. I know, I just wish had reached out. We didn't get the opportunity, so we are where we are. Mr. Wheeler's housemate Max Charman said he was very quiet and added he stayed at home often but said he had flexible hours. After graduating, Alexander, pictured, lived in Hampton Court Parade, East Molesey, Surrey, and took a job as an insurance administrator but was fired for timekeeping issues. Alex never mentioned any problems. He didn't do drugs and very rarely drank alcohol. The inquest heard that Stephen Rance found Alexander hanging outside his flat when he came home at 6 a.m. on November 16 last year. The neighbor desperately tried CPR after getting him to the ground while waiting for paramedics. He was rushed to hospital but had suffered a hypoxic brain injury which left him battling to survive. Eventually, on November 22, Mr. Wheeler's mother agreed it would be best to stop treatment and he was declared dead with his cause of death listed as hypoxic brain injury caused by hanging. The inquest heard that Stephen Rance found Alexander, pictured, hanging outside his flat when he came home at 6 a.m. on November 16 last year. Police officers found a typed note on a computer in the shared flat which explained his intentions were to end his life. In her conclusions, Assistant Coroner for Surrey Anna Loxton said his mother described him as private and introverted. His flatmate Max Charman also said he was quiet. He had lost his job due to difficulties with timekeeping. Despite his mother trying to contact him, he seemingly felt overwhelmed to see her and her finding out the extent of his personal troubles. He was found hanging outside his flat by his neighbor. Alexander, pictured, lived away from his parents after moving from the family home to study music technology at South Thames College in London. He suffered a hypoxic brain injury and a decision was made in his best interests to withdraw care. There is no evidence of Alex having taken any drugs that may have affected his mindset. I know he lost his job and may have been under financial pressure on top of the bad feeling of losing his job. I do not see this as a cry for help but a successful attempt to end his own life. It is clear he had a history of depression and despite support from his family had not been able to seek help for these feelings. The verdict was recorded as suicide by the coroner.